This is, he's meeting with a famous Hong Kong pop star, this guy right here. He's a Hong Kong pop star. His name is Mr. Lee.
5 years ago, someone had given Chan a book on, we had talked about guitars, but we didn't know exactly where to start. We had looked at some different flat top guitars, maybe distribution, and somebody had given Chan a book on arch top guitars, and he saw them and just thought they're so beautiful, and they looked so much like cellos and basses that we make here. So actually a customer of ours was a very famous guitar builder in the United States, Bob Benedetto, and he had bought some accessories from us for some violins that he was making. And we called him up and asked him for help, and he said, I can't help you, because he was actually working with Fender guitars at the time.
We Chinese, people, they have a really dedicated work ethic, and the hand craftsmanship is always a tradition. It's what to do. You have to teach them to be successful in their own field. So I think that's the necessary to make us a better company, and also make it a product, is to really bring the best people to teach everybody.
This is the people all excited to see the pop star.
Things are usually much more organized at Eastman Strings. However, today we had a visit from a very famous pop star in China, and he's very interested in our guitars. And so things have gotten a little unruly, as everybody here is a big fan, and everyone's excited to see him and get pictures taken. And this is not normal protocol for what takes place here, but it's a lot of fun.
And he said, I can't help you, because he was actually working with Fender guitars at the time. But he said, I have a book and a video that's available on you buy it in a bookstore, and it shows you how to build a guitar. You guys carve instruments better than anyone I know. And so Chan went and bought the book and video. I think we bought it over the internet, and it came to the workshop. And he watched it several times, brought it to China, watched it with Kawa several times, and they built the very first instruments that we made, and we brought them to the NAMM show that year in California. And people were just absolutely astounded, and our booth really changed for the first time. We had always been a classical orchestral violin company, and then all of a sudden we were making jazz guitars, and our whole booth changed. People were playing basses, and they were singing and playing guitars. We had jam sessions going on, and we just fell in love with the business. The most sought-after instruments in the world today are the great vintage instruments, the pre-World War II Martins and Gibsons, the Lloyd Loar mandolins. Those are the instruments people are really are looking for always. The problem is that because of their rarity, those instruments are really very, very expensive to find today. And you're talking about spending thousands and thousands of dollars, even hundreds of thousands in some situations, to obtain an instrument of that quality. I think what's special about this company is that we are looking at how those great instruments were built, where there were everything was done by hand, and people really looked at each individual instrument and didn't have to make any compromises. That's what we're looking at and saying, how can we try to recreate those great instruments? when they leave this workshop, they come to the United States or around the world at a price point that musicians can afford and can play and can have, and it's something that I think is special, and I think it's a special time in guitar making right now.